One of the most frequent questions that beginners ask when they're getting into metal detecting is, what type of metal detector should I get? And along that same vein, one of the questions that people who have been into metal detecting for a while ask themselves continually is my machine as good or better than my buddy's machine? Is this machine better than this machine? Do I need to get a new machine? Is that going to increase my fines? So I wanted to address those issues today. I got out a couple metal detectors and I'm going to go through them and talk about their features and the pluses and the negatives of each of these machines, and why, if you're thinking about getting a new machine, it may be the case that your machine is better than the machine that you're looking to get in some instances, and maybe a lot worse than the machine you're looking to get in some instances. So with that said, let's dive right into this. I'm going to try and be brief. I'm not going to give an overall description of each machine. I'm just going to talk about their strengths and weaknesses and some recommendations I would have for the type of machine you should get. Okay, the first two machines I want to talk about are the Garrett AT Pro and the Technetics T2 metal detectors. Now these machines are similar in that they both have a VDI, a display that shows you a number, along with a tone that comes through that helps you to identify what it is that you think you're going to dig up. Now each of these machines is slightly different. Each of them has their strength and weakness, of course. Like all other metal detectors. The Garrett AT Pro, of course, it's fully waterproof, so if you want to be out in the water hunting for Civil War relics, or if you want to hunt at the beach in the water, this is going to be a better choice for you than the Technetics. Now, some strengths of the T2, I believe it to get much more depth than the Garrett AT Pro, especially when you hunt in all metal mode, which is not an option on the Garrett AT Pro. It is an option on the AT Gold, and that's possibly a deciding factor for some people between the Garrett AT Gold and the AT Pro, is that the AT Gold is able to hunt in all metal mode. So when you're out relic hunting, you're going to get some more depth out of a machine like that. So that's some considerations with this machine. With the T2, there's a much bigger display. The numbers come out a lot bigger. It's a lot easier to see. And again, I believe you get a little bit more depth out of this machine, both in all metal and in other hunting modes with this machine. The other great thing about the T2 is that the discrimination can be cranked up to 80. So if you're a coin shooter who just wants to get out there and shoot for silver coins, things like that, you can regulate how much you want to discriminate out with a much higher degree of accuracy with the T2. So, who are these machines for? Of course, the Garrett AT Pro and the AT Gold are for a perfect machine for a beginner. They're also a great machine for anyone who wants to get in the water and metal detect. The T2 is also a great beginner machine, and I believe that it spans on up into the beginner and expert range as well. This is an excellent machine, as is the Garrett AT Pro. I would not hesitate to recommend either one of these machines to a beginner, as well as any of the other machines that operate with the same principle, a VDI and a tone-based type metal detector. The Garrett AT, or the Garrett ACE 300 series, 400, all of those metal detectors are very similar. It just seems the lower the price point goes, you start to lose a few features along the way. So that is it for these type of metal detectors. Let's take a look at the Nautilus and the Fisher. So the next type of machines I'm going to talk about are relic hunting machines, or deep seeking machines as I would call them, like the Nautilus DMC2VA I have here, aptly named Relic Hunter, or the Fisher 1266X. Now the 1266X I don't have a lot of experience with. This is actually Cassie Lee's metal detector that my dad gave her, but a lot of relic hunters swear by these machines, and this machine and the Nautilus are both tone-based machines. All you hear is the tones that come through them, and you use those tones to discriminate what type of target you're going to dig. I would not recommend one of these machines to a beginner. with that said, I started with a Nautilus machine, a tone-based machine, and so at this point I prefer that simply because I feel like I can do a better job discriminating than a little circuit board can. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But I do find very, very deep relics with the Nautilus machine. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way that this early technology was built. It also is running on 4 9-volt batteries, and none of that power is going to bells and whistles and little graphs. So with that said, these machines excel for hunting in deep relic conditions. Now with the Nautilus, you hear every single piece of metal in the ground. There is no discriminating out a tone like you can with the AT Pro or the T2. So this can be very frustrating if you're hunting in a trashy area. I am successful with this in trashy areas with a smaller coil, but that's only because I've been hunting with it for years and years, and it is still nerve-wracking for me to do so. So oftentimes if I'm in a trashy area, I just go ahead and get out one of those machines that will discriminate that trash out for me. Hunting relics, I use these tone-based machines. Okay, the last machine we're going to look at is the Garrett ATX. Now this machine is a pulse induction machine, and it operates on an entirely different technology than any of the other machines we've looked at tonight. This machine is primarily designed for very hot soil conditions, and when I say hot soil conditions, I mean very mineralized soil conditions. And you'll find that a lot in northern Virginia. You find that a lot on beaches. And in fact, a lot of people who like to treasure hunt on beaches use a pulse induction machine. There's a lot of them out there. I think the White's Surfmaster, the Excalibur, the ATX, they're waterproof machines. And that is the other benefit of this Garrett ATX, is it is a waterproof machine. There are other pulse machines out there on the market that are not waterproof. The White's TDI and the MindLab GPX series are the first two that come to mind for me. These are great machines for hunting deep relics in a large field as well. A few things I will note about these machines: they put out a very big signal. You can end up digging a very, very big hole if you don't have a pinpointer and if you are not proficient with the use of one of these machines. And it will take you a while to get proficient with one of these machines. So with that said, this is a machine for an expert user, in my opinion, and someone who is a relic hunter. You certainly could not take this into a trashy home site and use it. You would go completely insane very quickly because of all the noises it would make. So I hope that that helps you guys have a little bit more informed decision if you're looking to get a new metal detector. And for those metal detectorists who have been hunting for a while and are wondering, is my machine any better or any worse than the next machine, the answer is yes and no. Each of these machines is perfect in the right situation and terrible in the wrong situation. So learning which situation your detector excels in will go a long way in helping you excel in your metal detecting treasure hunting adventures. So hope that helped you guys out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you tomorrow.